And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Top 16 are set. Bluegrass Cup Series is set to go live for 250 miles here today as we get ready to round up for round 1 of the top 16 and eliminate some drivers. The championship hopes are going to be dashed for 4 of them as we take the top 12 and move on to the next set of racing. But live this week from the Talladega Super Speedway, it's Bluegrass Cup Series, presented by Cofield. The Cofield Supply and Service 250 here at Talladega. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. And it's been a great season as we go live here on V-Speed and Bluegrass TV. I'd like to welcome you into the broadcast. Getting ready to grid down there. And starting on your pole here today will be GT Hawkins, your points leader. As we talk about the points, here's the cutoff window for some of these drivers right now. And it looks like Barrett Morton, Sean Keister, Cody Anderson, and Alex Healy are on that window right now. Jeff Hoyt right on the edge. So it's going to be close here tonight. We'll have to pay close attention to those last 4 in the top 16. Talking a little bit about Talladega, it's a 2.66 mile super speedway with 4 corners. We're going to do 94 laps here tonight in Alabama. And at speeds well over 190 miles per hour, it won't take them long to do 94 laps around this place. So as we get set to go trackside and talk about the start of this race, Hawkins gonna lead him off into turn 1. And let's, without further ado, bring up your grid. And there it is, GT Hawkins with a 53.257 next to Rafael Hubi, 53.280. So less than 300ths of a second gonna separate your pole sitter on the grid. Second row is going to belong to Jeff Foyt with Mike Peters in 4th. Row number 3 will be Jonathan Atkins with Barrett Morton in 6th. The number 8 of Michael Kostick is next to the number 48 of Scott Fritz. And rounding out your top 10 is Wes Wiegand and Jonathan Cofield. Brennan Holder in the 11th position in the 9 car. We've got Daniel Cunningham in 12th. Row number 7 is Radburn Shutters with Mikkel Robinson. 15th will belong to Casey Ryback with Cody Anderson in 16th. 17th, Dustin Reinstedel and Alex Healy, one of those cutoff drivers we talked about, in 18th. 19th, John Schwartz with Nicholas Hassia in 20th. 21st position, James Silvers with Sean Keiser in 22nd. Keith Hackney in 23rd. Travis Twitty in 24th. And rounding out your 26 car field here tonight, it's going to be the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn and Daniel Worthington in the 113. So a lot going on down here in the racetrack. You're going to see big runs here in this Cup car. If you haven't witnessed any type of plate racing in this next-gen Cup car, it is, to say the least, action-packed. You're going to see guys coming from the inside, 2-3 cars deep, running the leaders down. And with Talladega, it's easy to go 3 wide. No reason why we shouldn't see some 3 wide racing, especially with 10 to go. Iracing Mustang pace car getting set to pull off here. Lights are out as we get set to go 190 plus in an action-packed traffic jam. 26 cars. Live here on Bluegrass TV and V-Speed. GT Hawkins leading the race, leading the points, got the pole. And here we go, set to go racing into the Geico restart zone. And the Cofield Supply and Service 250 at Talladega is underway. Green flag up in the air, and we're live and racing. Already here to lead lap number 1 on the inside, it's GT Hawkins. This time around, he's almost got a run here with the 21. Hubie actually going to lead that time by. Barely edges him out. And I thought Hubie was going to fall back because the 95 was not on the bumper. That's Mike Peters. I thought they would get a run, but they didn't. 14 and the 90 of Jeff Foyt not able to hold it out. We've got 3 wide down the backstretch. That's Barrett Morton on the outside. Daniel Cunningham and Jonathan Cofield pushing. Trying to get that 6 car up to the lead. Middle line pretty much falls apart, falls back into the sucker hole. We have the 95. Mike Peters falling back now. And that time by, it's the 6 of Morton to lead. Excuse me. Rafael Hubie fighting back on the bottom. He cut down in front of the 14 of Hawkins. Gonna ride on board here with the number 90 machine of Jeff Foyt. And his camera vertical here tonight, but you can see Foyt on board. Unfortunately with a landscape camera, but he is running currently in the 3rd position and gets a little bit loose there coming off the exit of the corner. Middle line starting to come back together. That's Scott Fritz in the 48. He's going to cut down to the middle line. And there's the number 8 of Michael Kostick. He let the line go there. Big gap in front of him, and that allowed the 48 of Fritz to get in front. Seems like anytime a 3rd row gets collected and organized, it only lasts for a brief amount of time. They're not able to clear the leaders. And the 6 gets a lap led but falls back. That's Barrett Morton back to 11th now. So Hooby going to lead another time this time by. He's going to come up on 3 laps led. And we talked about the points earlier in this race. It really will come down to who can lead the most laps, who wins the race, even a lap led. That could be the difference maker between getting eliminated in this top 12 after this week. And we saw at New Hampshire with the cutoff, that top 16. It's really come down to what Hawkins was able to do. And then you saw Farmer win the race. He came down to crunch time, did what he had to do. Unfortunately, Farmer not going to make it this week. He locked himself in with the win, but not able to make Talladega. So this is a moment here for Hawkins to capitalize after last week. That time by, it's the 42 of Cody Anderson getting a lap led. Anderson starting back in the 16th position. And he's moving like a freight train through this field. Now cuts down in front of Rafael Humi. Holding that bottom line. And that's what we talked about. This outside is able to organize for about a lap. If they can get clear, one car will get down in front of the leaders, but the inside is really where you want to be. Looks like another third row starting to begin here. Up there on the outside of Daniel Cunningham is the number 88 of West Wiegand. And he has the 113. Daniel Worthington trying to push him up to the front. Getting a decent run here. They're going to leave what appears to be the number 69 of Hackney out to dry here. And that inside line has completely taken over formation. Look here on the blimp camera all the way back to Radburn Shutters. James Silvers, these guys all single file. On board here with James Silvers. And Silvers, one of those drivers that's probably playing it a little smart, a little cautious here. We have plenty of racing left to do here at Talladega, so no reason to get up there and try to push the issue with some of these leaders. But back up to the front, it's the 42 by a long shot. No one trying to step out of line right now, just trying to tick away the laps as it's single file on lap number 8. And shuffled out of line. That's the 57 of Jonathan Atkins. He got a little out of the shape there, coming out of 2. Now the freight train's going to pass. He's going to fall all the way back to about the 10th position. Alex Healy is going to pick him up here on the outside in the 97, so that's going to mitigate the damage for the 57. He's going to stop right about 9th position. But that inside line still has a big head of steam. So Cody Anderson, Rafael Hooby, the top 2. GT Hawkins riding quietly behind them right now. Started on the pole here. He's going to sit back in 3rd spot, watch these guys push. And I haven't really seen anybody try outside line for this top 5. Nobody's stepping out. Everybody's pretty, I guess the word would be complacent, because they don't want to push and mess anything up for themselves. They've got a lot of race left to do. They are picking up the places here with the 57 of Atkins now getting a run from Healy. They're up to the top 5 now. So Atkins rebounding after getting pushed out of line. And it looks like Healy, the 45 of Robinson also in that mix. Wes Wiegand, they get a big push here on the outside. They're going to go to the front, and 3 of these cars are going to clear it. Wiegand not quite clear yet. He might be able to come down. The 113 who helped as well. Looks like they're going to lead this time by for the 57 of Atkins. So Atkins should be thanking Healy for that great push to the front. I'm surprised these guys haven't dropped down a line, though. That inside's going to resurge soon enough here. And you might see the 42. There's Wes Wiegand dropping down. That's a good move there for the 88. Now he's going to have the 42 on his back bumper and maybe a lap lead here for the 88 car. I knew the outside line was starting to run out of steam, so this is probably a good choice for the 88. This time by, it's going to be the 57 one more time for Atkins. But Wiegand has a good push here for the 42, who's been sitting in that clean air. That car is good and cooled down. He should have no problem taking over the lead for at least one lap here. And looking from the back bumper camera of the number 88. You can actually see the 42 has pulled the 21. So Atkins, or Anderson rather, has pulled Hubie. They've got a gap back there to Hawkins of about a car length. And it looks like the 57 was thinking about sticking the nose in there for a second. But now Wiegand gets a lap lead. And they're kicking him away. 13 laps into the 94. Let's talk again about your points here while we have a second. These guys have been clean and green for 13 laps. Putting it back up on your screen right now in the points picture, you can see the drivers that are in that cutoff window with Healy, Anderson, and Kaiser, Morton. They're all right there on the edge. And if you want to check in with some of these drivers, Morton is sitting back in the 10th position currently. You've got Kaiser, who is currently in... Oh, he's actually fallen out of the top 10. Some of these back here to 22nd position for the 24 car. So it's a pretty tight gap. All those guys aren't separated by more than 10 points. There you can see the 24 of Sean Kaiser. They're starting to double back up. You can see the outside line is starting to form. And the 57 of Atkins leading that group on the outside. Has not been able to get back up there, though. That great push that got him to lead a lap from Healy. I'd say that head of steam is gone now. He's going to have to get a different pusher or fall back in line. Third line trying to shape up back here. There's the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn going up high. He has the 97 or 91 of Casey Ryback trying to push him. Ryback not sure if he wants to go. They didn't get locked up to the bumpers here, so third line not developed quite yet. Dropping back down now for the 54. They had a good head of steam, kind of got broken up. There's Silvers on the outside in the 17. I think he would be somebody I'd like to go with on a third row. But Wiegand gets another lap led, this time by nobody competing with the 88. And that ties him for most laps led here. Right now, as it sits, top 10, we have Wiegand, Anderson, Hubie, Atkins, Healy, Robinson, Hawkins, Foyt, Peters, and Fritz. We'll go back here to the 10th position and ride on board with the number 48 of Scott Fritz. Down on the bottom here, trying to, I guess, work with the inside line that's prevailed here thus far. But really nowhere to go. And when you're sitting 5th on back, and we've got a big checkup on the inside, the 48 has to duck out of line. Not sure what caused that there. But that inside must have got loose. The 42 all over the back bumper, and now the 57 of Atkins drops down. Let's go back on our instant replay and see what happened to this inside line. Right here, you can see the checkup. Big checkup there, and I think the 42 got a little loose after he pushed the back bumper. Not exactly sure on the telemetry of that, but now the inside line falls apart. We go back to a live shot, and Alex Healy takes over the lead. So a 2-car tandem is able to work its magic, and they get clear of the 57. Healy to the lead. And a push from Atkins to send it down into 3 and 4. That outside line fell apart again. Not much in the way of outside running right now. You have the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn, the 91 of Casey Ryback, and the 6 there of Morton. I don't think these guys are going to be able to get ahead of steam. 91 is not close enough to the back bumper. He needs to get up there and press on the back of the... Oh, he's going to drop down here. So the 54 realizes he's not getting a push. He's going to drop down. And the 91 also dropping down. Here comes another run, though. We've got the 6 up there with Morton. And it looks like Jonathan Cofield going to push again. Let's see if they can work their way back up front. And pit stops happening. Now, Alex Healy bringing it down pit road. He's alongside with the 57, the 88. Quite a few takers. Kel Robinson also in. See these guys staying out. But here it is down pit lane. Down and away. Fuel only for most of these drivers. Doesn't look like any tires going on these machines. It's on lap 20. We're down and away. The 45 wins the run off of pit road. And coming out of 3 and 4, it's Barrett Morton with the lead right now. Probably going to see this second group of cars come down pit road. And nicely done into the entrance of pit road. You see all those Cofield supply and service machines in tandem. The 85, the 58, the 8, all hitting their stalls perfectly. And GT Hawkins also in this mix. Down and away on fuel. And it looks like the 58 of Cofield is going to win that battle off of pit road. But here comes the second group of cars. And it looks like Barrett Morton gets a speeding penalty, so he's still stuck down on pit road. Not a good sign here for the points. We've got a yellow flag out. Not exactly sure where this happened on the racetrack, so we're going to go back and take an instant replay. Looks like Scott Fritz loses control coming out of pit road. So let's figure out exactly what happens here to the 48. He comes out of his stall, looks clear, looks clean. Comes across the nose of the 8. Yeah, I guess he didn't know that Michael Kostick was down there. That second group of cars was thundering there. Let's go back one more time on the instant replay. It's a little far back, but it's right on board with the number 8 of Michael Kostick. He's going to come out clean, but looks like Hawkins there on the inside. The 48 comes across the nose. And then watch this. There goes the leaders flying by. But that pretty much wrapped it up there. Locks Jonathan Cofield in to the lead. He's able to exit pit road just before that yellow flies and stay ahead of the second tandem of cars. So Jonathan Cofield's going to get a couple laps left in the number 58. You're watching the Cofield Supply and Service 250 from Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to take a quick commercial break and go side by side under yellow. And we'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live, Cofield Supply and Service 250 at Talladega. Live on Bluegrass TV and V-Speed. And we looked at the break that the number 6 got with that caution coming out. He was serving a penalty for speeding on pit road. That yellow comes out, and it's able to bail the number 6 out. And the 48. There he is right there of Scott Fritz. Came across the nose of the number 8 of Kostick, and some of these drivers coming back down pit road to top off with some fuel. But Jonathan Cofield takes over the lead, and we're going to get the 1 to go signal this time by. Lights are out on the pace car, and we're going to double back up with Daniel Cunningham on the inside. So teammates on the front row. Sean Kaiser finds himself up in the top 3, so good turnaround here for the number 24. GT Hawkins, who almost got involved in that, coming on the exit of pit road. And there's Kostick behind in the inside in 5th. Now these next gen cars are pretty resilient. You would have kind of remember back to the old generation cars, even like the Gen 4 that are now in the ARCA series. If they would have got a touch like that, it would have bent some sheet metal, probably messed up the aerodynamics on these cars. You almost couldn't breathe on them the wrong way, and it would ruin their day. But these next gen cars, a little more resilient. They can take a hit with the wall. They can take a hit from another car. They can really take a hit in the draft, too. So they hold together much better than the previous models. Both respectively in real life as well. But we had a few toppers with fuel. We had the 42, the 6, looked like Jeff Foyt also coming down pit road. These guys going to top off. Try to play the fuel strategy. You know, 1 or 2 laps of staying out, that can make all the difference. We saw that happen at New Hampshire, where that extra pit stop changed a lot. Put Hawkins back on the 8 ball. Was able to let Farmer run away with the race. Just didn't have enough time to catch back up because he had to make an extra stop. But here we go. Pace car pulling off, getting ready to go back green for the second time here today. Jonathan Cofield electing to start on the outside this time. He's going to have Daniel Cunningham on the inside. GT Hawkins, Sean Kaiser, James Silvers, the top 5. Green flag up in the air. And we're back in racing. Second time here at Talladega. The lead, another lap. It's Cofield at the front. Had an excellent restart, got down in front of his teammate Daniel Cunningham, and a great push here on the inside for the 58 team. The 24 hanging tight. He's also got another Cofield supply and service machine behind him with the number 8 of Kostic, but here comes Hawkins on the outside. A big shove here from the 17 to Silvers. Side by side there for about the 3rd position, now working their way up into the top 3. Hawkins getting a big push out of 4. And a little bit off center here. Silvers almost turns the 14, but they're able to get back in contact. That breaks up the momentum though, and Cofield's going to lead another lap. Trying to get connected back to that bumper of the 14. Not able to do it this time. He's going to drop down to the inside, and Silvers leaves the 14 out to dry. Now it's up to the 44 of Shutters to get connected, and it doesn't look like they're going to get back together in time. Outside line starting to fall apart. Going to allow the 14 to drop down to the inside. There's the 42 on the outside, though. So we got another formation. For those of you that live in the South, you could compare this to a hurricane. Every time that eye wall disappears and reforms, changes the strength of that outside. And a big push here on the back of Schwartz from Anderson. Anderson pops up to that outside line, sees it, it's going, and a bad push there. Gets the 7 all out of whack, and now the 6 of Morton moves to the outside to the 3rd line. If we were going to have another caution, it looks like maybe it's going to happen back here. Some of these guys not prepared for the push. But in clean air, Jonathan Cofield Has 9 laps led so far. He's got Daniel Cunningham glued to that back bumper. We're back here a little bit deeper. The 57 of Atkins now. They've got the outside line going. The 9. That's Brandon Holder giving him a good push. So he works his way up to 7th, and we've seen Atkins get up there once before. Let's see if he's able to do it again. 30 laps into this race. Inside line looks like it's starting to struggle a little bit. Atkins now up to about the 5th spot. Side line really organized this time around. Here comes the push yet again. It looks like they might get by. A little bit of side draft here on 3rd place Kaiser. And another time by for Cofield. 11 laps led now. Riding on board now with the number 85 of Daniel Cunningham. He's done an excellent job of keeping that 58 up front since we took the green flag for the second time on lap 24. Started back in the 12th position. He's up 10 spots from where he began this race. Biggest mover so far riding on board here with the 24 of Sean Kaiser. He started back at 22nd. Has since found himself up into the top 3, and that's really what he needs to do. He needs to get up there and get a lap led, though, to help push there with the tight gap between him and 12th place right now. He's going to have to get a lap led. Bonus point's so important here. And we've got some cars down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the 48 of Spritz. Not exactly sure what happened back here, but let's take an instant replay and find out. Oh, we had a car completely sideways coming out of turn 2. Back that up a little bit more. That looked like the 90th point. Boy, it just gets loose. Bounces off the 48, and somehow we stay green. So, very close call there for the 90th point. Not exactly sure if a net code bubble maybe sent that car around a little bit, but it checks up some of these guys, and now leading a second tandem of cars is Wes Wiegand. He's got the 6 of Morton behind him, Schwartz, Anderson, Fritz, everybody back from about 13th down. Now trying to play catch up with this top 12. Outside line starting to form up again. Hawkins and Silvers. Maybe seeing an opportunity here. Works his way up to 3rd now with a great push. A little bit of deja vu. The 14 and the 17 starting to work together again. And glued to that back bumper is the 17. They get clear. Hawkins is going to drop down. A big wreck here. The 17 of Silvers was not clear, and he dropped down right in front of the 58. Car on its side, that's Wes Wiegand. Silvers was not clear by any stretch of the imagination. Drops right into the door of the 58 of Cofield. I'm hearing some radio chatter out there on the racetrack. Not happy with that move at all. Cofield a little upset, but let's go back and take an instant replay. He just dropped down. He was not clear. Followed that 14, and the turbulence probably helped pull that car down even more, but he was glued to that back bumper and was not clear. Go back one more time. Back it up a little bit more, and we'll ride on board with the 58 of Cofield. A little bit of damage here on the 58. But that 17 gets bobbled, and let's figure out what happened here to the 88 of Wiegand. I want to know how he ended up on his side. Oh, the 90 of Foyt just runs into the back of him. They start checking up, and he sends him to the outside wall. So a completely separate incident from what happened in front of these guys. Wiegand probably checking up a little bit, has nowhere to go. That's going to bring out caution number 2 of the night. Silver's down on pit road now. 58 of Cofield also in his stall. I believe the 85 was also involved in that, of Daniel Cunningham. He has a little bit of right side damage. So that brings out our second caution of the night. And so far, it's been a pretty good one. Race recap, 2 cautions, 9 lead changes here tonight. You're watching the Cofield Supply and Service 250 from Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to take another quick commercial break and be back live on V-Speed right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back live at Cofield Supply and Service 250 at Talladega Super Speedway. We're about at the halfway point and doubling back up after caution number 2 comes out. The 17 of James Silvers comes down in front of the 58 of Jonathan Cofield in a chain reaction. About 7 cars involved. Here we are, doubled back up. The 14 of Hawkins, your points leader. Brandon Holder on the outside. Then we have Sean Kaiser, Michael Kostick. Kostick unfortunately loses all of his Cofield Supply teammates, and they fall out of the top 10. Checking back here with the 17 of James Silvers. He's fallen back to the 17th position. He has the 58 just behind him of Cofield. Daniel Cunningham back here as well, about 19th, 20th, 21st position for these drivers. And an early behind the wall here for the 88 of Wes Wiegand after he turns on his lid, actually on his door, and slides down out of turn 4. Here we go, pace car pulling off for the third time this evening. Hawkins going to pull him into the Geico restart zone. And since we're at the halfway point here on V-Speed, we like to do a little bit of turn up the volume. I hope you know where that volume knob is, because it's about to get loud. Let's crank it up here for the next couple laps and ride on board with Hawkins. As soon as we do that, not exactly sure where this happened. It looks like maybe the second group of cars didn't get going. Let's go back on the instant replay and take a look. Somebody misses a shift or something here. I don't quite see what happens here. They throw a yellow, though. Maybe some debris on the racetrack. I can't confirm that. Not really an iRacing thing, but, you know, we'll have to take a look around. Sometimes mysterious cautions do happen in iRacing. But this does give us a little bit of an opportunity maybe to talk to some of these guys. Let's pull Michael Kostick up here into the broadcast booth. Michael Kostick in the number 8. It's Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Michael, you lost all your teammates, and we had a caution, a yellow, come out here. Not exactly sure what was going on the racetrack. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I thought we were gonna have a one-lap shootout to the stage, and I think it benefited me. No help. I think it's just better to take the 4th place finish and get the stage points.
So that's official for the stage number 1. So I guess we're going to run it out here, figure out what happens. You guys are stopped here. Are you waiting for the pace car currently?
Yeah, pace cars had to catch up.
All right. So, Michael, outside of that, you had some issues on pit road. We saw the 48 of Scott Fritz go across your nose. What happened there? Just tight exit?
Yeah, I seen the 14 coming up, and I don't know if I drifted out in the 48 or what happened there. I just ran out of room. Feel bad. I didn't know who I got into. It sucks for him, but wasn't intentional.
Well, we're gonna let you hit your pit stall.
I know.
Appreciate your time, Michael. Good luck out there tonight.
All right, thanks.
Number 8, Michael Kostick, and he's had kind of an up and down day. We got some more trouble on pit road. It looks like the 48 hits another car. Comes across the nose of Jonathan Cofield. And it looks like Jonathan Atkins stays out or wins the battle off pit road, but he gets caught back up to the pace car. Through the field here, we got a few different drivers that have had up and down days. Here's Jeremy Vaughn. He's up 19 positions where he began this race. Currently being scored in the 6th position. Let's see if we can dial up Jeremy Vaughn. Jeremy Vaughn, it's Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
We're trying to survive.
Trying to survive. You're up 19 spots from where you began this race today. And it looks like the outside line has kind of been one or two cars predictably getting to the front, and then it falls apart. How tough is it to get around up there?
I like to run by the top anyways. I don't like getting stuck on the bottom. But trying to help Cody Anderson get in. He's 1 point out, I think, so helping him out.
Right on with that. And so you have the 42 right in front of you here on this restart. You guys going to get together and try to make something happen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck out there. I know we're going to probably take the 1 to go signal after that stage. Congrats on the stage and good luck.
Thank you.
It's the number 54 of Jeremy Vaughn. And I think I put him back into the proper place. I believe I did. WJM NLR teammates down there. Big group of guys. You got Schwartz, Hoyt, Einstedt, all those guys down there. Ryback. But we're getting set to go back green, doubling back up. The 57 of Atkins takes over the lead on lap number 40. And he's already got a few laps led. Let's see if he can seal the deal. Looked pretty good at New Hampshire. Had a few flashes of the top 3. Let's see if he can get it done here at Talladega. And for everybody out there that's watching this broadcast, whether it be on Bluegrass or V-Speed, there's a little button down below. If you haven't hit that button, less than 30% of our viewership is subscribed to either channel. And I know that statistic to be a fact. We've been on YouTube for many years, and it seems to be true across the board. So if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the alerts so you never miss a single race for the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed and Bluegrass TV. Going live here at 9 p.m. Second race of the chase, the first elimination race to take the top 12, and you just heard it, Cody Anderson right on the cutoff there for the top 12. Going to get a little bit of help from the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn. Double back up, pace car going to pull off this time by Rafael Huby on the outside, GT Hawkins in third, fourth spot Brandon Holder, and then Cody Anderson fifth. Go all the way through your top 10. Jeremy Vaughn, Dustin Reinstedel, James Silvers finds his way back up to 8th. John Schwartz and Alex Healy, the top 10. About to get loud. Let's try it again. Let's ride on board here with Atkins and turn up the volume here on V-Speed. Neck and neck here with the 54 and the 97 of Alex Healy. Jeremy Vaughn just short to lead that lap by 0.02 of a second. As they go into turns 1 and 2, the outside line starting to develop. That's the 48 of Scott Fritz up there on the outside, the 69 pushing him. Jonathan Cofield has a decent recovery. He gets back up to the 7th position, now dropping up in front of this outside line. He's taking the 6 of Morton. Here they go to the front. Healy kind of left in the sucker hole. There's the 85 in the middle behind him of Cunningham. And now dropping down, the 48 going to make a move on the 58. So Fritz trying to get to the lead. Looks like Morton on the outside gets a little bit too far ahead of the 58, and now the 48 is going to lead this time by. He does it with the 69 of Keith Hackney pushing him by. Going to play both lines here on the exit of 2. Fritz going to drop down to the bottom now. You see it on board in the back of the 48. Now another push here, another head of steam for the outside line once again. The 45 joining the crowd up top. The 45 of Michael Robinson being scored a lap down, but getting a good push here on the back of Cofield. And it looks like Morton is clear. They're going to drop down. They know they're clear all the way to the bottom. Morton leads that time by. But what a head of steam here with the 69 and the 90 of Foyt, and the 6 way off on the bump there. That allowed 3 cars to clear him, and the 113 of Daniel Worthington gets up in front of him. Foyt actually a lap down in the number 90, pushes Keith Hackney up to the front. So a lap led here for the 69. Morton going to try it again. Has some help from Cofield, but it's a little bit too gapped. And now the 85 looks like he's going to peek up to the center. These guys shuffling all around trying to get the speed down the backstretch. A little bit of damage probably hindering Daniel Cunningham, not able to stick with these guys. There's Alex Healy on the outside. The 113 jumps up a row. Daniel Worthington trying to get a spot. They're going to have to try to clear the 90 and the 69 up front. Another move up to the outside. The 45 moves up. That's Michael Robinson. Not sure if he's blocking here for the leader or not. But he moves up a lane. He might be trying to get that lucky dog position away from the 90. So we got a race for the lead. We've got a race for the lucky dog. Trying to get that lap back. The 45 not getting a lot of help here. Trying to hold it steady. On board here with the 45 of Michael Robinson. And right there's the position he needs, the 90 right in front of him, to try to get that lucky dog position. But if these guys get involved in an accident, either one of them gets a 1X. iRacing will not wave them around the pace car. Another second tandem on an outside group. The 24 of Sean Kaiser trying to lead the 71 around here. He's got a few different takers, but not staying organized, and they fall back another position. The front row, however, has cleared. As they get around, the 45 has his lap back currently at the front of the field here for the 45. And I think that was him saying the 113 was trying to get the 45 to drop down and break that momentum. He doesn't do it, and now the outside line's starting to lose out here. He's neck and neck with the leader, and Foyt starting to make a shove back to get that lap. A lot of turbulence, a lot of moving around here off of 2. A big break up there on the inside. That's going to allow the 45 to get back up to the front. No change for the lead just yet. The 113 got close there for a moment. But the 69 of Hackney is going to lead again this time by. Another push up here on the outside. The 42 of Anderson, who's on that cutoff. Getting some help from the 11. That's Dustin Reinstedel. You see the yellow spoilers out there on the racetrack. Those are your chase contenders. And the 42, who's right on the edge of the points, trying to get up there and lead a lap. Anderson has 5 led here. Let's see what he can do here with the 11. And his friend there during the caution that we talked to, the 54 down on the bottom, can't really help him from where he is. Hackney's going to lead another time by 6 laps led now for the 69. It's neck and neck again for the lucky dog position. Nobody can quite clear. Now a third line developing. Cofield goes to the outside, bounces off the wall, trying to go with Morton in that third row. And the 45 is going to drop back. The 6 drops down in front of him, leaves the 58 of Cofield out to dry. And now Cofield is going to lose a ton of positions. Now he just needs to find a hole. Thought he had one there for a second. He's going to drop down behind the Canes machine. That's the number 95 of Mike Peters, who's also a lap down. So falls all the way back to the 12th position after getting left out to dry by the 6 of Morton. And the Morton goes up on that outside. He doesn't get anything going. He ends up dropping down to the bottom. So Hackney going to lead another lap. And we're approaching probably what will be our window for pit stops here very soon. Third place now. Second, rather, is Scott Fritz. And this tandem of cars in 1, 2, 3 starting to pull away. Not a lot of help here. The outside line hasn't been able to stay organized this time. And Keith Hackney has picked up about 8 laps led now. Exactly 8 laps. No one has been able to touch the 69, and you can see how turbulent this car is getting coming off of turn 2. Another try here on the outside. The 45 trying to get clear of the 69. Doesn't work this time. And Foyt. Car looks like it's starting to handle a little ill. These guys probably starting to feel that tire wear from just taking fuel only on that first stop before the stage. Hackney side by side with the 113. That is for position. The 45 and the 90, both a lap down. trying to fight for the lucky dog position. Back and forth here. Foyt just trying to hold on to it. They move up a line here. Now the 48 down to the bottom, and he gets into the 113. That's going to bring out a yellow. And it looks like Cofield gets involved in another one here. The hood completely missing off the 113. A lap down car getting into the door of the 113 brings out caution number 3 of the day. We're back on our replay and seeing this from another angle. He gets put into the middle, has the 48, but he just, I could tell that car was starting to handle a little ill, and the 11, man, takes a big shot. That's Dustin Reinsettle. Let's ride on board with him. Nowhere to go here for the 11. And I thought the 58 of Cofield got involved in that, but I don't think he did. We'll go back one more time. He might have got through this. So, 2-car incident could have been a lot worse, but unfortunately the 90 of Foyt gets into the door of the 113 and brings out caution number 3 of the night. Caution number 4, rather, and here we come down pit road for some pit stops. 69 of Hackney going to lead him in. Looks like tires going on these machines, starting to handle a little bit ill. The pit stops begin here on lap 56 out of 94. You can see the variety of different drivers on and off pit road. Down and away here for the 21 of Hubie, the 90 of Foyt, the 54. Vaughn, and a lot of these drivers electing to take tires. Some of them only 8 seconds in the box, though. For some fuel only. 69 of Hackney. Looks like maybe some right sides only for that machine. You're watching the Cofield Supply and Service 250 from Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to take another commercial break and bring you flag-to-flag coverage uninterrupted here right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count after 37.
Oh!
The round gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it all.
Back live at Talladega Super Speedway, live on V-Speed and Bluegrass TV. You're watching the Cofield Supply and Service 250. We're on lap 58 out of 94. GT Hawkins gets stage number 1. That's going to help him tremendously in the points, but Keith Hackney takes over the lead, and he's been sitting up here consistently for 12 laps led. Pretty much since we took the green back from the stage break. We're doubled back up, getting ready to go back green. A few of these drivers electing to come down and top off with fuel. They might be cutting it a little close on this window, not entirely sure, but it's Hackney, Healy, Anderson, Hubie, and Vaughn, the top 5. Cunningham, Twitty, Schwartz, Kaiser, and Kostick back to 10th. Some guys that have had some up and down days. You were talking about the 14 of Hawkins. He's all the way back here in the 17th position. Started on the pole here tonight, so he's down 16. Jeff Foyt, a really down day for him as well. He's down 19 positions where he started 3rd at this race. Then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got guys like Hackney who are going to lead here into turn 1. Green flag is back out, and he's up 22 spots, going to lead him back green here at Talladega. Two tandems of cars kind of split out from each other. You can see this second group kind of lagging back a little bit. We're riding on board here with the 44 of Radford Shutters. And Shutters is kind of in that second group on the inside. They're starting to catch back up, but they're splitting off from this other tandem of cars led by the 9 of Brandon Holder. He has the 14 of Hawkins, the 17 of Silvers. They're trying to catch back up. Cofield also in this group. Hawkins starting on the pole. He finds himself about 3 seconds back from the leaders and giving a big shove here in the back of Holder. Try to catch up to this front group. Glued to the back bumper through 3 and 4. Here comes Cody Anderson, though, taking over the lead, getting some help from Jeremy Vaughn. And the 42 of Anderson gets a lap left. And we've got a wreck here. Looks like the 85, and Kostick hits the side of him. Somehow the 85 gets thrown out of line. That's caution number 5 of the night. It looks like Foyt's involved in this one as well. Foyt moves up to the outside. Healy hits in the middle, and Foyt comes back down in front of him. We'll have to take a look at that from the drone camera. '97 to Healy, looks like it gets to the inside. The 90 just doesn't know he's there, and that takes out the 85. Takes out a few drivers. We'll ride on board here with the number 8. Pretty light touch there for the 8. Don't think he picked up any damage from that. That brings out our 5th caution of the night with 19 lead changes. Cody Anderson takes over the lead. So we're about 2/3 of the way through this race. Let's see if we can find the number 42 of Cody Anderson. Cody Anderson, it's Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. Do you got a copy?
Gotcha.
Cody, the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn said, we're going to do something magical here, and he gets you up to the lead with about 30 to go. We know you're in the cutoff, and it's going to be one of those things that you almost have to win or lead the most laps. It's all going to come down to the very nitty-gritty on points.
Yeah, if I can't win, it's going to come down to probably that most laps led bonus point.
It's a tight window here, but the 42 car has seen the lead several times here tonight. You got a good partner behind you. What chances do you think you got here?
I mean, as long as I can keep the teammates behind me, I think we've got a good chance of keeping it up front and bringing it home for the win.
Cody, good luck, man. I like to see you up front there, and everybody likes an underdog here, so you're right on the edge of the points. I'm rooting for you, man.
Thank you.
All right, there's the number 42 of Cody Anderson. Now lead him into turn 1 here on this restart. On back here, we've talked about some of the guys having up and down days. How about Travis Twitty? He's up 18 spots from where he began this race. Back in 24th for that qualifying as the number 29 up in the top 10 here in 6th spot. So we just come back from that commercial break, and these guys with lap down traffic shuffling around trying to make their moves to get their position back in the lead lap. Jeff Voigt has been trying to do that. The 45, however, did get back on the lead lap. So Robinson, who's down pit road now, currently topping off with fuel, maybe getting some damage repaired, not entirely sure there with the 45, but he did get the lucky dog. But every time a caution has come out, unfortunately for Jeff Voigt, he's been involved with it. So he's going to have to find a... I mean, he's the first car 1 lap down, so he's almost guaranteed this position right now. I think he's just going to have to find a situation where he hangs back. Looks like he might come down pit road this time by. I think if he pits here, probably be a good call to put him in the back of the field and just kind of sandbag and let these guys have another caution to get back on that lead lap. But lights are going to go out on the pace car. We're going to get doubled back up. Anderson and Vaughn in the front row, Hubie and Hackney the second row. Then we have John Schwartz and Sean Kaiser for that row number 3. It's been kind of all over the place here tonight. For some of your chase drivers, not exactly the race that they wanted to have. Voigt being one of those drivers that's in the top 16. Having a very rough day here today. The hood missing on the 113 after that other caution a moment ago. Trying to get that machine repaired, but Toyota Camry has seen better days. Probably won't have an overheating issue here for the 113. He will have a hard time getting up to speed with the aerodynamics on that car. James Silver is another one of those drivers that's in the chase. Came down across the hood of Jonathan Cofield, but has since got that car repaired. Let's see if he can work his way back up here into the top 5, currently in the 11th position. So pace car going to pull down for the 6th time tonight. The 42 of Anderson, hoping all those teammates stay right behind him. He's got Jeremy Vaughn there on the outside to try to help him out, maintain this lead. Ubi behind him as well. Let's see what he can do. Pace car's off, back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag up in the air, and we're back live and racing at Talladega. Let's see who can hold on to it. And with a big surge of speed, the 54 going to take up on the outside. Hoffa El Hubi giving a push here to the 42 of Anderson, but the 54 clears him. Doesn't drop down. Looks like the 42 is going to get the line to the inside now in 3 and 4. Going to hang tight there, getting a little bit loose as they exit 4. Anderson still holding on to it. Vaughn's going to lead this time by. Hackney gives him a good shove to get him up clear. And looks like they're going to drop down probably in front. Keith Hackney, another one of those teammates here that's trying to help out with the 42. We got a car pulling down off the race surface. That's the 88. Wes Wiegand moving down, letting these cars go by. Line starting to develop. That's Alex Healy and Brandon Holder on the outside. They're trying to get something going here in the late stage of this race. Silvers, Kostick on the bottom of the front of this row. Silver's going to move up. Here's on board with the 24 and 11. This is looking from the tail end of this run, this first tandem of cars, and then if you look on the back end of the 85 of Cunningham, you've got another group of cars led by the 29 of Travis Twitty. He's got a couple lap cars in front of him here, Jeff Voigt. And then there's the 95 of Mike Peters, who's 2 laps down here. Jeremy Vaughn gets a lap lead. He pulls down in front of the number 69. And this 4-car tandem, all teammates trying to keep it up front here. This is good for Anderson if he can maintain ahead of this field. But he's going to need a couple positions between him and the rest of these guys in the cutoff. Bring that points battle back up on your screen here so you can get a good understanding of what's going on. There's Anderson, who's within 1 point of Alex Healy and about 5 points of Jeff Voigt, who's having an off day here tonight. Voigt right there on the cutoff line. Right now looking pretty good here for the 42 of Anderson if he wants to get his way into the top 12. Scott Fritz gets shuffled out of line. He's stuck up there on the outside. Now the 44 of Shutters, the 17 of Silvers have the outside line churning. .25 laps to go now. You can see the 11 up there on the outside. about to go another lap down. 8 laps now for Dustin Reinstedel after getting that hard hit with the number, I believe, 91, or 113 rather. And checking in with Daniel Worthington, just holding on to the back of this line. That's impressive there for the 113. Missing a hood here and still able to keep pace with these guys. But up here on the outside, James Silver's getting a big head of steam here. He has the 14 of Hawkins giving him a good push. Now they get stuck in the middle. Not quite clear there for Healy. He's trying to drop down in front. Healy has the lane, but doesn't drop down in time. Starts to lose a little ground. Now on the surge back, these next-gen cars so good about coming right back up. Throttle control is so important in these cars. Hackney back to the lead. He has Anderson all over the back bumper now. So for any of you that are watching live on V-Speed currently, post your driver's name up in the chat. We'll try to get him some TV time. I know this race has been going on now for 72 laps, and we've tried to get as much TV time as we can for anyone out there that I've missed, or you feel hasn't got enough TV time. Go ahead and put that name, first name that I see up there in the chat. We'll get some TV time for him. But outside of that, the outside line, James Silvers has not been able to prevail. They've fallen back to about the 8th position. Hawkins has not been able to get the run going, but he is glued to that back bumper. Just not able to get it going yet. Look here at the tail end of this. 3 wide again. Holder moves up to the outside. Healy going to move down and take away the position. On board here with the 7 of John Schwartz, currently in the 8th spot. He's right behind Casey Ryback in the 91. In the 8th position, up 11 spots from where he began the race. But the biggest mover is actually tied Jeremy Vaughn and Keith Hackney at 22 spots gained here tonight. Laps to go as they cross the line. Keith Hackney coming up on the most laps led here. And this Toyota Camry has looked fast. Outside line has not been able to compete, but there is a change for the front of this second group. Hawkins now with a big head of steam from the 57. Jonathan Atkins now giving the push. They've made it up to second position now. On the outside of Anderson. Trying to get the nose over Hackney now. They do, and this time by Hawkins is going to try to transition into the lead. Silvers, Shutters, and Holder following suit. Healy also in the back end of this, on the outside. They're clear of the leader now. Hawkins drops down. Hawkins follows with him. The 17 of Silver's now stuck up on the outside. Change for the lead here with 20 laps to go. The 57 is able to get the 14 up there. You're going to see these moves get a little more dramatic. The guys are going to start to get desperate for position. What a head of steam there for the 57, and you saw Silvers has fallen all the way back to about the 8th position. That 17 just not able to keep up. Probably has a little bit of damage somewhere on that machine that's not showing cosmetically, but he just hasn't been able by himself to get up there, and these guys starting to drop into line, so that tells me that we're approaching some pit stops. See the second tandem of cars back here. Barrett Morton leading this group. Actually, the lap down car of Mike Peters also in this mix. And here comes some cars down pit road now. Hawkins stays out with Atkins, but here comes Keith Hackney to lead him in. And all these teammates pitting together. 42 of Anderson into his stall. Down and away for the 42. The 69 out as well. And Hubie actually gets pushed out of the way a little bit. He loses a couple spots while trying to exit pit road, and here comes the second group of cars. Hawkins, Atkins, Silvers, Radburn, Shutters, Holder down pit road. Your pole sitter hits his stall. Looking like a fuel-only stop here for the 14. Down and away now. And for the last cars that haven't hit pit road yet, the 6 of Holder, or Morton rather, still out there on the racetrack. Gonna try to lead another time by. About 14 laps to go as they cross the line. This group of cars might be praying for a caution to get caught back up. So about 26 seconds back from that first group of cars we were just showing you on your screen is GT Hawkins. He scored as the 4th position, but I can tell you this right now, Healy Kaiser, Anderson, they're not going to wait for these boys. They're going to try to pass them as soon as they get up to them. Big head of steam here for the 69. Anderson drops down, able to get clear of the 14. All over the back bumper of the 24. There's the 48 on the outside now. And the 48 of Scott Fritz gonna try to take over the lead. Michael Robinson down pit road, but Keith Hackney takes it over on lap 83. So here's your battle for the win. After pit stops, it's these 15 cars. 11 rather. We've got Brad Bird Shutters at the tail end of this pack. There's the 6 who's just coming off of pit road. Maybe another speeding penalty here for the number 6. Scott Fritz taking over the lead here. He's got Michael Kostick on his back bumper, and the yellow flag comes out. Looks like the 21 of Hoppe Alhubi gets involved. A little bit of damage on the left front of that Extreme Motorsports. Not exactly sure what happened. Let's go back and take a replay. He sends it down to the inside and almost takes out the 85. Let's go back one more time, and maybe some drafting gone wrong here. Oh, it looks like they tried to miss the 95 of Mike Peters. Man, that destroyed the front end. Man, a close call. Let's go on board here with the 85. Wow. And I'm not really sure what came off of the 21 car. We can go with a blimp camera here, maybe try to figure out what happened. But some parts did fly off of that car. Looked like maybe the front diffuser or something flew off of there. Not exactly sure. He didn't hit the inside wall. But if you pay close attention to the right side of your screen, it does look like some pieces come off of it. That might have been a fender off of the 85. That brings out caution number 6, and if you think they're done, they're not. These guys are going to get all grouped back up here. Things are about to get really interesting. We take the green with less than 10 to go. Scott Fritz takes over the lead. Michael Kostick, Keith Hackney, Brandon Holder, and Sean Kaiser, the top 5. But this might give the 90, I'm not entirely sure, but he might get the lucky dog position here. I don't know. Maybe Morton gets it. I think the 6 car of Barrett Morton. So another tough break here for Jeff Foyt, because Barrett Morton was the first car a lap down. So let's get a chance here to dial up the 48 machine of Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz, it's Bradley Cooper in the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Scott, we've seen you kind of back and forth here towards the tail end. You find yourself with less than 10 laps to go in the lead. Do you have any partners, or are you just going to try to make your own magic here?
I don't know. I know me and Keith are teammates on the dirt side, and we work well together, so we might be able to work here, and Cody Anderson, so we'll see. But we're going to try and get it done.
Well, good luck, man. It's good to see you up front here in the closing laps. You've been in the lead several different times here tonight, so good luck out there.
Thank you.
That's the number 48 of Scott Fritz. And coming up here in the closing laps of this race, I don't know if I want to be up front or not. He says that Hackney is a teammate on the dirt side of things, so that might help a little bit. But we've seen it time and time again. It's especially true here at Talladega with that tri-oval before the start-finish line, that if you're the leader, somebody gets a good push coming off of turns 3 and 4. Unless you go up and block it or really break the momentum, it's going to be tough to hold on to this lead. And we've seen that a number of times where drivers go up and try to block that momentum and cause a big accident. So we're just going to have to wait and see. The finishes here at Talladega, always making for some fireworks. But statistically, the driver that is leading the last lap does not win the race here at Super Speedways. They're getting set to go back green here. The Cofield Supply and Service 250 with less than 10 laps to go here on Bluegrass TV and V-Speed, the Bluegrass Cup Series, live 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in next week when we go short track racing at Bristol for round 2 of the playoffs. But here we go, back underway. Green flag up in the air into the Geico restart zone. And here comes Scott Fritz to lead him into turn 1. Down the backstretch now for Fritz. And a big move down to the bottom. That's the 44 of Shutters. He gets shoved down a line and almost loses it into the 14 of Hawkins. He's able to gather it back up. Now Fritz up front. Caustic on the outside. The 9 of Holder. The 97 of Healy. They have a good head of steam here. Cody Anderson needs to get up there. He's got the 97 of Healy, who's just ahead of him in the points. He needs to get back ahead of him. But here comes Caustic to lead. And all the way on the outside, it's the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. It'll block down to the bottom by Holder. A big head of steam, and in the middle, we've got the 57 of Atkins falling through. He's in the sucker hole now. Falls out of the top 10. Look at this traffic jam, 3 lanes wide. The 29 gets moved a little bit there. A little unsettling there for Twitty. And Healy is not clear. They're almost 4 wide and into Atkins. And Cofield involved in another accident. Yellow flag is out for the 7th time here tonight. Cofield done for the night. The entire right side of that car is ripped off. We saw it 4 wide here, and Healy up on the outside. Gunners not giving, the 29 of Twitty not giving, the 58 has nowhere to go. They bounce the outside wall, and Healy gets involved in it. It's right on board here with the number 97. This is on board with the 58 of Cofield. Then one last time, we're going to go blimp camera with the number 29. Right here, you can see Healy moves down. He can't go with the number 8 of Caustic. And the 29 just has no choice but to make contact. They bounce off of each other, and that eventually upsets the 29, sending him to the outside. And man, the 90 cannot catch a break here tonight. Involved in it as well. So we're into green-white checker territory here tonight at Talladega. Brandon Holder taking over the lead from Scott Fritz in the closing laps. Fortunate for the 97 of Alex Healy to get involved in that. But that does help out the 42 of Cody Anderson. If he can bring this thing home in his current position, it's looking like he might make the cutoff here for the top 12. I have to wait and see. Let's see if we can find the number 9 machine, Brandon Holder. Dial him up on the radio. Brandon Holder, it's Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. Do you got a copy?
Oh, yes, sir. I got you.
Now, Brandon, statistically, the guy that's leading the last lap at these super speedways is not the guy that wins the race. And we've talked about partners and who's with you and who is against you. What are you going to do to make this car three lanes wide through that tri-oval?
I'm going to try to make it 4 lanes wide. No, I don't know. I'm just going to try to get to the end and be smart here and not come back on the hook.
Looks like it's going to be a big task as well, because we started to breed cautions here towards the end of this race. I don't think we've seen the end of it.
Oh, no, I don't believe we have either.
So, Brandon, you're in the lead. We're getting ready to double back up. Good luck out there, and we look forward to maybe having you up here in the top 3 post-race.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
And you're at Cornerstone, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cornerstone driver Brandon Holder in the number 9. Ready to go back green. He has Scott Fritz on the inside, Sean Kaser and Keith Hackney. GT Hawkins the top 5. You've got Silvers, Kostick, Anderson, Shutters, and Hooby to the top 10. So up and down, back and forth. These drivers, 10 positions, 22 positions, up and down. An unfortunate ending to the day for the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. But we still have a couple drivers there for the Cofield Supply and Service. We've got Michael Kostick up there in the top 10, running in the 7th spot currently. But you can also go check out the CofieldStore.com, certified Graco and Titan paint machine sales, parts and service center, pressure washers, parts, service, automotive paint guns and pumps, you name it. You can check them out at CofieldStore.com. So for Bluegrass TV and V-Speed, getting ready to go back green-white checker territory. Brandon Holder, Scott Fritz, the front row, into turn 1. Who's going to come away with the final round of the first round and chase elimination? Who will be our top 12 after Talladega? Green flag back in the air. And let's settle it into turn 1. Big push there on the outside. Now the 14 of Hawkins moves to the upper lane. Holder going to make it 4 lanes wide. He's going to get a good push here by the 14 of Hawkins. Kostick up there as well. The 45 who got his lap back a moment ago. He goes with Kostick, now dives down to the middle lane. What a move there for the 28 car of Nicholas Hacia. He's going to drop down and take over the top 10. With the head of steam here for Holder. It's going to take a while to get churned up, and a car into the outside wall. That's the 91. AC Ryback gets sent to the outside wall. And our first attempt at a green-white checker gets reset as Casey Ryback gets sent to the outside. Let's take an instant replay here and find out what happened. You can see him running down here in the entrance of 3 and 4. He's on the bottom. Doesn't look anything out of the ordinary, but I think it's going to get really tight here with 4 wide. It does. Oh, he moves up in front of the 28. He was not clear. Let's take that with the drone camera here. You can see the 45 gets a little out of shape. And maybe thought there was a hole right there, but there was not. One more time as they exit 4. Not clear. Into the 24. So Scott Fritz takes back over the lead. Holder falls back to the 5th spot. Hackney there in 2nd position. James Silver's up into the top 3. We had some push in there with the 14 of Hawkins onto the 9 of Holder, but it never got up to speed. Just not able to get it going yet. And we've actually talked to this top 2. Let's see if we can find the 17 of James Silvers. 17 of James Silvers. It's Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
James, we've kind of seen you have an up and down night. Early in this race, you kind of following Hawkins down and came across the nose of Cofield. You've since recovered and got that machine back up to speed. You've got a lot of teammates around you. You think you got something for him up here?
Well, you know, I'm gonna definitely try. Yeah, whenever me and GT got into it earlier, I was pushing him when we were pushing really well, but for some reason my bumper got locked onto his, and because that's what me and my crew chief were looking at, because my steering wheel was going to the right, but my car was going to the left. It just pulled me down into everybody, but I guess that was a glitch with iRacing. But yeah, hopefully we can try to keep our teammates up here and try to work together right here and maybe be able to pull this win off.
Yeah, it's looking like this tandem of cars gets such a surge. Do you think something out of turn 4 is probably your best bet?
Yeah, maybe even coming to start-finish line, it might come down to that, so we'll have to see what happens, buddy.
All right, well, there's the 17 of James Silvers. Good luck out there, and hopefully you can get up here in the broadcast booth post-race.
Yeah, thank you, Bradley.
There's number 17, James Silvers, currently in the 3rd position. Gonna try to make some moves. He has Cody Anderson there on the outside, and that was the cutoff driver we talked to earlier. Looking pretty good. If he can maintain this finish, he's probably, and I don't want to declare anything, but I would say he's probably in the top 12 based off of if he finishes in this top 5. I think he's good to go. So Healy, that was a guy that was ahead of him in points, also having a tough break here tonight. He is the last car on the lead lap, back in 18th position. That helps his shot even better. So the exhaustion of my voice doesn't mean much, but what does mean something is these drivers have fought all season long to put themselves in a position. By that I mean we keep eliminating drivers until we get to the final 4. And on that schedule, we're going to Homestead Miami Speedway for the championship. It's going to be interesting with a 2-stage break, the longest race of the season. That'll be November 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We will declare our official champion of the Bluegrass Cup Series. Next week at Bristol, 2nd round of the playoffs. Then we have the Charlotte Roval right after that. Darlington and Martinsville for round 3. And then wrapping it all up in Miami. So double back up. Lights are out on the pace car. Gonna try our 2nd green-white checkered attempt here tonight at Talladega for the Cofield Supply and Service 250. Pace car pulls off as they travel across that long tri-oval one last time to try to make it under green. Scott Fritz gonna lead him into turn 1. Green flag up in the air into the Geico restart zone. We're back underway at Talladega one more time. And a good lock together here with Silvers. Gets right up on the back bumper of Scott Fritz. 2 laps to go as they cross the line. Holder now into the inside. Big head of steam here for the inside line. Hackney does not have a car locked on the back bumper yet. That's the 42 of Anderson that needs to get up there. Now a move out to the outside for Holder. Anderson gets moved up out of line by the 44 of Shutters. A lot of turbulence here. The 14 now up to the outside. Hawkins moves around. Hackney goes up. The 42 follows suit. Glued to the back bumper of the 69 of Hackney. They're tight and 3 wide across the line. White flag up in the air. It's going to be official. The 48 of Fritz, down on the bottom with Silvers. The middle of 14 of Hawkins, Holder, Hackney, and Anderson. A big push on the outside line, and the 69 is clear. He drops down to the middle. He blocks the 48. He gets turned down to the bottom. The 42 of Anderson takes over the lead, and everyone wrecks behind him. It looks like the 42 is going to come away with it, but a big wreck behind him. All the carnage, these cars coming off the line. Out of turn 4. No one is going to touch the number 42, and he's going to win and lock himself into the final 12. It's Cody Anderson with the win. And what a big crash behind him. The entire field involved in that. Let's go back on our instant replay and figure out what happened to all these drivers. The 69 gets moved down across the hood of the 48. The 17 of Silvers bounces into the 14. And it's just carnage behind him. Right there, you see the move down to the inside, and unfortunately, the 48 comes back. He doesn't actually come back up, but the 17 of Silvers is locked on the 45. Somehow, the 44 of Shutters gets through that, but the 8, hard impact to the outside wall. The 14 of Hawkins involved in it. He falls all the way back to 13th, but Cody Anderson coming off of turn 4. Nobody able to touch him. He comes across the start-finish line all by himself to get the win here at Talladega. They're burning it down here on the front stretch. Post-race interviews with your top 3. You're watching the Cofield Supply and Service 250 from Talladega. We'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live on V-Speed. The Cofield Supply and Service 250 has concluded. And what a finish there. The picture-perfect storybook moment for Cody Anderson getting the win here tonight But we're down here on pit road. We've caught up with your top 3 finishers. And then ultimately, we're going to talk first to your 3rd place finisher. And it's Radburn Shutters. Radburn, we saw so much carnage there on that last lap. You're able to sneak by, but I tell you what, the 44 had its ups and downs like everybody here tonight. Walk us through that last couple laps.
Yeah, I was ready to quit like 3 times tonight, and the guys talked me into staying purely on playoff points and making it to the next round. Otherwise, if this was a random official, I'd have been way out of here a long time ago. But that was pretty hectic. Glad that we had the fuel to finish. I hate so many cars got tore up there at the end. That was going to make for some really good racing if we could have brought it to the line. I don't know. I've got some sports betting to do after that, or some lotto tickets to buy, because there's no way I got lucky enough for the whole field to split open for me. You just kind of cruise to the line. That stuff never happens, it seems like. So I really lucked out there. Pretty sure that I'm good for the next round now. Can go ahead and put the big track behind us. That's all we wanted to do.
Yeah, we're going to Bristol next week, so we're in the complete opposite of the spectrum, but this does put you in a good situation there for the playoffs. And I have no official word, but I will say that it looked pretty good for you to be locked in here with that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, glad to be back in the money too. That's another big thing. Anytime I get to come talk with the broadcast, it's been a good day. I just can't believe how lucky we got. Honestly, that kind of stuff just doesn't happen like from that far back. My car was never the same after the first wreck anyway. I couldn't lead a line. I was dragging guys back. So was James. We both had damage that we got all of our optional stuff fixed and just couldn't get the car completely 100%. So it made for good pushing cars, good helper cars, but we couldn't lead a lap if we wanted to about it. But
yeah, and I've talked to quite a few guys. I think we should change the name of this track to Las Vegas, because it is just sports betting. You're essentially rolling the dice every time you come here.
Yeah, just like that last wreck, you just kind of got to close your eyes and pray.
Well, you're able to bring it home in 3rd place here tonight. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for that performance tonight?
Yep, gonna thank our sponsors, Aerial Pros of Western North Carolina, Function Junction Smoke Shop, GG's of Waynesville, Mountain View Detailing, and Waynesville Tire, and my beautiful old lady Lori for allowing me to have these wild hobbies of ours. Everybody at Cornerstone and broadcast, everybody at Bluegrass putting the show on. I appreciate everybody and hope to have another good one next week.
Well, we appreciate your time, Radburn, and we look forward to maybe talking to you at Bristol.
Yep, absolutely. I appreciate it.
There's your 3rd place finisher here tonight, Radburn Shutters, and the number 44. Now catching up with your 2nd place finisher here, and this is the first time I've had mention of this name, Nicholas Hasia. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
It's Hasia.
Hasia. All right. I'm sorry. I butcher names for a living. I apologize for that.
No worries.
So the 28 bringing it home in the 2nd position. The seas parted. You had a bunch of carnage around you, and you're able to sneak by and figure it out there for the 2nd place. Goodweiser, I see on the side of that machine.
Yeah, it was just on trading paints, and I thought it was cool.
It is a neat paint.
Yeah, it's definitely the one.
We know that you're one of those drivers that wasn't into the top 12 here, but you're able to sneak by and get a 2nd place finish. We go to Bristol next week. And do you see that momentum carrying into next week's race, try to get a win?
I raced the B car. I just did one race up for fun. So this is just a one-off.
Just a one-off. So you come in here, you get a top 3, get some post-race interview time. Go ahead and say whatever you want then. This is a one-off, so make it worth it.
I don't really got anything to say. It was fun.
It was a good time. Well, awesome paint scheme. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out, at the very least here?
Just the High Side Hustler crew. They all know who they are.
There you go. High Side Hustler crew. Appreciate your time, Nicholas. And, if you ever want another one off, try to get up here in the booth again. We appreciate your time.
Sounds good. Thanks.
There's Nicholas Hasha, I believe. I'm going to work on that. But there's your second place finisher of the night in the number 28. And ultimately, it comes down to the race winner, Cody Anderson, in the storybook finish. He was worried about points all day long, and then he locks himself in anyway with the win here tonight at Talladega in the Cofield 250. I tell you what, man, it couldn't get any better than that.
No, it could not have.
So you take over the lead right there at the end where everyone just destroys themselves. You saw the 48 and he goes down to the inside. It looked like the 17 of Silvers might have got loose and he takes across the field, and then you see your mirror just empty.
Yeah, I seen everybody go, and I was just praying that nobody would able to get through it linked up still, just in case that slim chance they were able to chase me down. But luckily, I think even if somebody came through linked up, I don't think they were catching me. That carnage had left me enough space.
Yeah, it left you well over a second, and Nicholas and Shutters, they weren't able to get back together. They're actually battling across the line there at the finish. It looked like the 28 just barely beat the 44 to the line there. They were locked together at the door. But Cody, you came into this race knowing what you needed to do. You had some teammates back there backing you up. I believe the 54 of Jeremy Vaughn made it his priority to try to keep you up front. But ultimately, It just came down to being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Well, that's Hackney in the 69. He was helping me out too. And once we went 3 wide, he told me stay right on his bumper throughout the whole corner. And I was just praying that I wouldn't turn him, because that would have ended my race as well if I would have turned him down into the bottom 2.
I mean, really, you look back at these green-white checkers, and we talked about the statistics. The guy that's leading on the last lap is never the guy that wins the race. And so that's how predictable and unpredictable Talladega can be, really.
Yes.
So ultimately, you lock yourself into the chase, and I can say with confidence that you're in that top 12. Cody, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight's performance and that victory?
I just want to say thanks to Glaspie Rickman Law Firm, WJM Motorsports, all the WJM guys that helped me out tonight, the NLR guys for helping me out, Extreme Sim Racing, Speakeasy, Pen Emporium, Ackerman Seal Coating, Oxy Green Solutions, and Claude Haggerty, Super Sponsor Man.
Outside of that, Cody, we're going to Bristol next week. Hopefully we get to talk to you again, and we appreciate your time hanging out with us up here in the V-Speed booth.
Thank you.
Race winner, the number 42 of Cody Anderson, getting it done here tonight at Talladega and locking himself into the top 12. Congratulations to him, and let's get that final rundown of your top 12. I don't know the official points, but I can tell you that the 42 is locked in. We've got a few guys we're going to put up there on the screen and give you your final rundown of the finishing order. So here's the results on the screen. Cody Anderson, Nicholas Hasha, Bradburn Shutters, the top 3. Raphael Huby bringing it home in 4th. James Silvers, after that hard impact to the outside wall, comes in 5th. Sean Kaiser in 6th position. Casey Ryback 7th. 8th, Michael Kostick, Michael Robinson 9th, and John Schwartz for the top 10. 11th spot is a 69 of Keith Hackney. And Hackney having that up and down day. Scott Fritz, who was on the inside during that last lap leading this thing, comes home in 12th. GT Hawkins, the points leader, falls back to 13th. Jonathan Atkins, 14th. Jeremy Vaughn, 15th. Brandon Holder, 16th. Barrett Morton, the 17th position. Mike Peters, 18th. Travis Twitty, 19th. And Jeff Foyt, who can never catch a break here tonight to get back in the lead lap, in the 20th position. Unfortunate here for the guy that gets knocked out of the top 12. Alex Healy is going to finish 21st. Jonathan Cofield, 22nd. Daniel Cunningham, 23rd. Daniel Worthington, 24th. 25th, Wes Wiggin. finishing this race on his door. And then Dustin Reinstedel, 34 laps down to round out your field here tonight. So with all the cautions and all the lead changes we had here tonight, it was a good show. The 42 gonna burn it down one last time here for you. This was the Bluegrass Cup Series. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here live on V-Speed. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race. We go live at Bristol Winter Speedway next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, for everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker. Drawing a blank here. Eddie Smith. We'll go with that one. Alec Martinez and Connor Horn. We thank you for watching tonight's broadcast. Take care and have a great weekend, everybody.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
Slack.
Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag